Welcome to it, sports fans, the MKT Show. I am MKT, and it is Thursday. Hate to tell you, it is the night that Manchester United will be playing on from now. Europa League back again for them. Oof, that is tough. That is tough. I mean, the memes have been flowing. Got to tell you, if you're a Man United fan, life is not so good right now. It's the opposite of good. All right, listen, we're going to break that down. And tonight I decided I'd play a game, a classic game, sell or keep. And what we'll do is we'll run through the team that played for United against Red Bull, and you can decide. I've got my guys who I'd keep, who I'd sell. So I'd play a game. I'll play a game of keep or sell. And like I said at the beginning of the season, I'm going to tell you why Man City will walk the league quite easily, and I still think Liverpool won't come in the top four. So I'm going to tell you why Liverpool walk it quite easily. By the way, MKT, Gareth Cliff over here, Cliff Central Sport, the MKT Show. MKT inspires on all social media. Cliff Central Sport on all social media, and Cliff C Sport, of course, on the Tweet Monster. All right, well, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Some people's weekends are starting now. People are taking it easy at work. So wherever you're listening to the show, hope you're having a good one. Some people got some emails. Hey, thanks. I'm studying. And, people listen to this. It's great. Digital is great because they can listen to it anywhere. Some people in the car, some people at work. Had a guy send me an email, said he was listening in one of the, he's on the executive board and he's listening in one of the AGMs, which was hilarious. Can't believe he's got my voice when he's supposed to be delivering for shareholders. Quite unbelievable. All right, Man United. It is what it is now. If you're a Man United fan, it is what it is now. But ultimately, from here, you got to decide. You know how it goes in life, right? You buy stuff, you sell stuff, and ultimately, I don't like hoarders. But if you want to have your house, what do the people say now? Like these Instagram kids, the feng shui. You got to get the feng shui right. You can't have everything. I don't care how big your house is nothing looks good when you got too much. And also, the nicer the house, right? If you want a nice house, get some nice furniture. And don't get nice furniture, get the best furniture. I'm a minimalist in some senses. I have very few things, but whatever I have, whatever my budget allows, I want to get the best of it. My running shoes, I want the best. Don't know. T-shirts, I want the best. Listen, my linen, I want the best. The best that I can afford, I'm going to get that. I don't want 10 sheets. Give me 3 sheets, but I have the best. Duvet, got a goose down. Get the best. Breathable, I want the best. The best that my budget can get, right? Sell or keep. I believe you should never, ever have any fat in business. You trim the fat and always be operating functionally. Here's Man United, for me, need to sell, keep, and then we'll come back to why. There's no way they're making top 4 in my mind. All right, we'll start with De Gea. Look, it's been 3 years now. It's just not good enough. You cannot play at Man United and be making that many rudimentary mistakes that often. De Gea, for me, sell. Right, the 3 years, this isn't the highlights package anymore. You know what you've got now. You've got a goalkeeper that played at a very high level. And you also don't want to blame De Gea, but sometimes you got to say, if you're not the guy, you're not the guy, right? Real Madrid never had a defense for all those great years. Iker Casillas, Saint Iker, right? It was all on him. I mean, they had no defense, but he delivered, right? For a decade, he delivered at the very, very highest level. Won World Cups, Euros, Champions Leagues. De Gea's got 1 Premier League title, by the way. 1. No good. No good. He's been Player of the Year 3 times, I think, in a row he was. Obviously, that tells you the defense is not great, but I'm afraid you can't have this many mistakes. De Gea sell. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I've said it before, men, when we buy things, so I don't want to speak for women, men are terrible, terrible, terrible animals at saying I made a mistake. Right? Our egos. This is why the great ones, Bezos, Bezos will sell books. All right, well, that doesn't work. Let's sell everything. You know what? Let's not sell everything. Let's sell the best, and I'll deliver it to you in 15 minutes with a drone. Right? Always, I'm wrong. Let me evolve. Men are terrible at that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you spend 50 million on him. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. He can defend. Sorry, that belongs in the 90s. I'm on the bubble with Wan-Bissaka, and I know people love him purely because he can defend. But I'm sorry, in the modern day era, I can see Reece James, I can see Trent Alexander-Arnold, I can see Kyle Walker, I can see Cancelo, and that's where Man United want to be. I'm on the bubble with Wan-Bissaka because problem is he gets to the halfway line and it's time to cross over to the other team's half. Oh dear, gets a nosebleed. Not going to work. That's not going to work in 2020, right? 2021 going forward, no good, sir. Trent Alexander-Arnold's right there for you. Reece James is right there for you. That's his direct competition. I'm afraid it's no longer good enough. And by the way, there's a reason why Trippier is probably going to come over is let's get the lad some competition. But Trippier really gives you something going forward. Gives you width and he gives you that delivery. So, sorry, Wan-Bissaka on the bubble, £50 million you spent on him. Maybe you made a mistake. Right? And they bought him off a season at Crystal Palace. So, really, you know what? Yesterday was the first time you saw him against really top-class opposition. And the ball was moving quickly. And really, they had them on the carousel. Or not yesterday, Tuesday. And then you saw what happened. Angelino didn't beat him for pace. That was technical and tactical nous from Angelino. Knowing where to be, when to be there, and the ability to move the ball quickly. Now, what has to worry you as a Man United fan is there's different styles of defending, right? There's the physical one-on-one defense. That's where Wan-Bissaka excels. Put him on a man, is you try and beat him. His pace, long legs, that sliding tackle's becoming his thing now. But then there's tactical and technical defense. And my God, Angelino showed him up. And I'll tell you what these top wingers do. So the rule in football, if you're a winger, is chalk on your boots so you can see the whole field, or you start inside, and that way you can you give the wing back a decision to make. Right? Is you either keep moving back or you can come inside. Ryan Giggs is an absolute maestro of it. But you're never in no man's land as a winger. So look at the top wingers in the world, and I don't mean these new inverted wingers where a right-footed guy is playing on the wing. I mean a genuine left winger. I think one of the better exponents we've seen in the English Premier League is Martin Petrov. He was outstanding. Didn't have the pace, but my God, his tactical nous was unbelievable. The best winger, I think, genuine winger outside of Ryan Giggs is Arjen Robben. Right? Look at prime Robben at Chelsea was unstoppable. He's either on the chalk line or he's standing on the 18-yard line. What he does is he wants the wing back to see him, right? And then he starts pedaling backwards. And now the wing back doesn't know. Do I have to watch the ball going behind me, or is he running inside? And then you're in no man's land. And if your wing back overlaps, guy's in trouble. So I think Wan-Bissaka got shown up technically and tactically that, he's got a long way to go. Angelino did a tremendous job. So for me, on the bubble, AWB. Luke Shaw. Listen, I had a problem with Luke Shaw when he arrived at Man United. You know, I really believe this. Stop paying talent, pay value. In sport, don't get attached to anyone. This was Fergie's secret. I don't care how great a player is. Move off people. Luke Shaw, I think it's another mistake that Man United made. He arrived at Man United overweight. That is unacceptable. So he's showing you what he is. You made a mistake. And now, tell you what, you can be rubbish without Luke Shaw. Because now you're rubbish with him. Plus he's always injured. Plus you spend £30 million on him. It's time to move on. So for me, I'd sell. Harry Maguire. I mean, this might be the worst purchase in the history of the Premier League. There's another one in this team that I think is the only one that's worse. But of English players and probably centre-backs of all time, this is the worst purchase of all time. They bought him off. This is the problem when leadership is emotional and they ride the crest of the wave. They bought him off one season at Leicester. They're not going to work. Not going to work. So, right, you made a mistake. £80 million, world record fee. You made a mistake. He's got to go. Lindelof, listen, nice player. I like Lindelof. We're at Man United. Right, I've seen Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand. Sorry, you had Steve Bruce. This isn't going to work. It's not going to work. Sorry. Man United, move off. Upamecano is out there. Listen, you can get great centre-backs. There's great centre-backs out there. Stop telling me people can't defend. There's a lot of high quality. Maguire, Lindelof, got to go. Matic, I'd keep. He gives you some game control, gives you great squad depth, quality player, quality pro. You need that for the next culture. McTominay, I'd keep. I like him. He's one of their own, and he gives you a bit of steel. McTominay is not going to be the reason you lose games. Now, is he Roy Keane? No. Is he Patrick Vieira? No. But he's a United boy, and he's got that attitude. So you can win with him. If Liverpool can win, I think naturally speaking, in terms of natural talent, he's better than Jordan Henderson. And he's got the attitude of a Man United player. Plus, he feels the club in his veins. I would keep McTominay. Bruno, I don't think there's anything to be said there. He's the best player United probably have had, arguably, since Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's the best player they've had since Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think that's clear. Since Ronaldo left, they haven't had a world-class one. They just have not. That same season, because Tevez left the previous season, right? Since Ronaldo left, they haven't had a brilliant one. I'd keep Bruno. Telles, I'd keep. I like him. I think I like what he's got going forward. We saw what happened with Patrice Evra. Give him a season, settle into the league. I think Telles is an upgrade on Luke Shaw. Anyway, tactically and physically, a better player. Rashford, I think he's your best forward and probably the best United graduate in terms of just raw talent, probably since Ryan Giggs. Honestly, Rashford can do it all. He can play on the left, play in the middle, tremendous pace. He can shoot, he can take free kicks. Just in terms of raw talent. Plus, now Marcus Rashford is a human being you can make in what American sport they call your franchise guy. Rashford isn't a grown-up. You can build the club around him. He's one of your own, and that never happens. Think of all the clubs in the world. How rare is it for one to come through your system, and then he's your best player? Bruno's obviously your best player now, but Rashford's up there, right, in terms of production. It never happens. Think of how great it was with Gerrard. Think of how great it was. I mean, you think of the Chelsea guys, Terry. Think of those guys. That never, it never, ever happens where you have one of your own. It is almost impossible, right? The connection from Rashford to the club, to the community, you can see everything he's doing off the field. And if you're a corporate company, Marcus Rashford is the dream. And he's a bit of a tough guy as well. I see how he gets kicked and he's just up. And I don't know, he was having a go at the number 8 for Red Bull during the week. I love that. He's Manchester United through and through. So Marcus Rashford, for me, is the dream company guy. Not sure if I want him as my captain. I probably need probably Bruno. Bruno is actually probably where I'd go with captaincy, but okay, that's a different conversation. I love Rashford, I must tell you. And then I love that, especially now, you see when people become empowered, they get more money, they get some public attention, they get a little bit of this, they get a little bit of that. You've seen where people's egos go. I think Rashford's been fantastic. He hasn't allowed the whole OBE, MBE, all of that to go to his head. I thought it might, but you look at him and, with me, pay production. Marcus Rashford, here's a blank check. How much do you want per week? Nobody else in this United team other than Bruno and Rashford. How much do you guys want? I haven't heard anything off the field about Bruno. He seems to take it seriously. But Marcus Rashford, you are Man United. By the way, all advertising following Pogba's departure should be around Rashford. We are United. This is what it is. Keep Rashford and make him your pin-up boy. Maybe not captain, but I definitely make him the pin-up boy. Tremendous young guy. And character. Character matters. My old man and my old lady used to tell me when I was younger, I'm starting to get it now as I grow old. It matters what you do all the time. Just because people aren't watching. Don't do things because people are watching. Do things because they're the right thing to do. Marcus Rashford, grown up. Love it. Keep him. Let's start with these ones. These are the guys off the bench. Williams, I'd keep. I like him. He's one of your own again. Twanzaba, I'd keep. Apparently, he'll be the next captain. From what everybody says, he's been bred to be the next captain. You saw that performance against PSG. Fosu Mensah, I'd keep. I love him. He's got everything that tells you in the first team, and he can play right back or center. That physicality, pace, power. Just tell him to figure out to figure out positioning. Now, both Twanzaba and Fosu Mensah, I do worry about the injuries because there's a rule in sport: injured young, injured old. That worries me hugely. That worries me hugely on both. And Twanzaba, it's going to be tough to make you captain because, listen, the greatest ability is availability. Right? Because he's the captain. He's the next United captain. Everything I've read, that he's the guy. He's been captain at every level, but he's got to stay fit. Van der Beek, you keep. Listen, I like Bruno, but Van der Beek's your best technical player. He's the best technical player at Manchester United. Now, Bruno overall, when you bring the character, persona, confidence, is the best player because he'll try anything and he doesn't care. Listen, playmakers, you got to have a short memory. You miss a killer pass, don't care. Move on. But Van der Beek, he's your typical Dutch player. Give me the ball and don't babysit me. I've got the technical ability. He's not quick. He's not anything like that. But you give him the ball. How he moves the ball, manipulates the ball. It's like Bob Ross, isn't it? It is artistry. It is absolute artistry to watch somebody that technically gifted. I mean, these Dutch players are so well taught. Nobody has ever been more technically gifted that I've ever watched. And this is the kind of sports nerd I am, by the way. When I watch footballers, it's the little things I used to remember coaches trying to scream at me at 6, 10, 15, 18, trying to drill it into me, right? First touch. Then you protect the ball if you're not moving it on. First touch has to be about moving it on. And head up. Your first touch has to be with your head up. You watch Van der Beek, you wonder why players like him, David Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, why can't people take the ball away from these people? It's because their first touch, you know what they do is the head is up. So if you're coming, they know where to move the ball because what they need is body between you and the ball, or the ball needs to move. They are sensational. You look at these top guys, Van der Beek, sublime technically, and keep him. He's your next playmaker. You pair him with Bruno, it's going to be problems. It's going to be problems if you can defend. And the most important one, look, Paul Pogba, you got to sell and should have sold him 2 years ago. You got to sell him. Come on. I don't want to go on. People say I bash Paul Pogba too much. Sell Paul Pogba. It's over. His agent now is coming out. You're trying to hold Man United hostage. He's in the last year of the deal. Move him on. Take your 50, 60 million. You take the hit for 30 million pounds. All right. We made a mistake. Luke Shaw, we made a mistake. Move on. Hey, you want to know why Man United are in big trouble? 6 of the 16 I've just named. And 6 of these would be in the starting lineup if you put Pogba in there. Put him in the lineup. 6 of 11 got to go. That's more than half of your team that needs to be sold. That's why you're in the situation you're in. Folks, everything's easy. Business, sport is easy. Get the best talent with character, right? And I'd even reverse that, is get the best character in-house, because talent is a given if you're coming to Man United. Get them, pay them, keep them together for an extended period of time. You're going to have to move 6 people here because you've made recruitment errors. And no matter where you are, the advantage in business, in life, you read all of the great business books. You speak about Google, how they recruit. You can't win without the best players. Now, I don't care how great your coaching is. I just don't care. You cannot win. You can win one season. Leicester, Liverpool. Liverpool don't have the best squad on paper. The Liverpool fans will tell you they do. They don't really. Like if I go through Liverpool's 11, maybe Sadio Mane would get into Real Madrid. Maybe. I'd take him at Real Madrid, Barcelona, at the top teams. The rest are on the bubble. There's no one really world-class outside of Sadio Mane. What it is a great collective. Van Dijk, people are a little more excited about him than I am. I think he's very, very good, and he's had one season. One season doesn't make you John Terry. It doesn't make you Gary Pallister, you know? World class isn't one season, I'm sorry. You've won one league title. But Sadio Mane, he's been doing it, right? He's the one guy. They're not going to win 5 years. They're not going to be Man United. Liverpool are not a dynasty. They're not going to win this season because they don't have world-class players. So Man United, love to know what you think. So I'll go through that quickly. De Gea sell, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the bubble. I'd sell if you gun to my head. Shaw sell, Maguire sell, Lindelof sell, Matic keep, McTominay keep, Bruno keep, Telles keep, Rashford keep. On the bench, I said Williams keep, Twanzebe keep, Fosu-Mensah keep, Van der Beek absolutely keep, Pogba sell. Of the 16 that played, that means you are selling 6. That is problems. Bad recruitment, bad company. Man United. Let me know what you think. Listen, you've all got phone apps. Go and look at the teams from that Red Bull game. Do it yourself. Do the exercise at home. MKT Inspires on social media. Let me know. Who would you keep? Keep or sell? For me, 6 of the 16 yesterday. You've got Henderson now at keeper. Move on. It's time for a new era. De Gea's got one title. People treat him like he's Schmeichel, by the way. He's not. He won under Fergie, and it's never happened again. Unless Man United now And listen, swallow the bitter pill. You're a Europa League club. Maybe top 8 is enough for United. I don't know. It wouldn't be for me. So those players need to move on. Speaking of champions, earlier in the season, I told you that Man City are going to win the league, and people said I was crazy. And I told you the reason they'd win the league is that they're about to basically get a whole bunch of new signings, except the new signings are in-house. Sergio Aguero has been injured. They had COVID. Gundogan, one of the best playmakers in Europe, has been injured, had COVID. Riyad Mahrez, COVID. Those 3 players are silly already. But I have a golden rule, and I'm going to tell you again why Man City are going to win the league, and they're going to win it easily. Easily. No one's going to come close. No one's got a combination of these right now. And I haven't moved off this. Here's why Man City walk the league. Ownership's A++. How much money do you need? When do you need it? And you never hear us talking. Too much chat at United. Listen, I think second best ownership's Chelsea. They got second best ownership. But I think these guys are great. Whether you like them or not, Sheikh Mansour has been unbelievable. Here's the money. I'll get out the way. Plus, by the way, we'll build an academy. So we're not just going to build for now. We will give you the best chance to constantly have competition at the club, and we will try and win everything at the junior level, right? Ownership A++. So that's non-negotiable. Manager A++. He's the best manager of all time. I don't care what people say. He's revolutionized football. The last person to do that now coaches Leeds, Marcelo Bielsa, and even he actually didn't take to the next level by actually winning lots of trophies. Pep is the perfect combination. He's very, very stern and serious, but he wins. Because stern and serious grinds people, right? Fergie was grind people, but stern, but still won. That's what you want. Mourinho, stern, but wins. These guys are rare. That's why you keep seeing the top teams circulate the same managers. Right? You need stern guys to win because you got to crush the egos in the dressing room. So A++ manager, A++ ownership, A++ manager. Most important, goalkeeper, B+. He's good. But you know my rule. Below 193, you can't be an A+ keeper or an A keeper. It's too short. And you've seen it before where goals don't quite go in the top corner against Man City, and from long range he struggles. Sorry. I need a 193 minimum. Personally, I like 195 centimeters and taller, but all right, whatever. But keepers B+. Can work with that. And then he's got great feet. He would be a B for me because he's short, but he's got great feet. He might as well play defensive mid. So that's another reason. Another reason, they got the best centre-back combination in the league. Something's going on with Laporte, but when he's playing, him and Diaz, and this Diaz is for real. Like, you saw that, right? You're seeing it. No matter who you support, you're seeing it. Oh, no, they got another one. And he's proper. He's your proper Iberian guy. You're not going to mess with him. Laporte will play the football. I mean, he's making John Stones look good. And that's a tough job. Hey, you make John Stones look good. You must know you're some player. So CB's Laporte Diaz, that's A+. That's A+. It's not Carvalho Terry. It's not Vidic Ferdinand, but it's A+. It'll work. It'll work. And then they've got the most crucial position, right? I've been watching this guy for a season and a half, and you know, it's my favorite position to watch in football because I'm a football nerd. Rodri's a different class, all right? You need a metronome. I don't care how good your team is. You must have a metronome. Think of all the great teams, right? No matter how you play, your holding mid will decide how you guys play. What they call the libero in Italy, he'll decide how you play. Think of the great teams. Liverpool Champions League. Who did they have? Xabi Alonso, right? Spain in that team. Xabi Alonso. That's who you need. You need Italy winning the 2006 World Cup. Andrea Pirlo. That man is crucial. The metronome is crucial for deciding where the ball goes, how quickly it gets there. Come back to the Premier League. Makelele. Keane. Carrick. Right? Vieira. Gilberto. You must have the CDM right. And that's never changed in football, by the way. Go back to all of the old teams. AC Milan. Donadoni, right? That great Italy team. You're looking at Donadoni. You're looking at the original libero, Beckenbauer. All the great teams. right? The carré magique. You look at France's great carré magique. Right, Platini, nice, but everyone else, it's all about what's happening in midfield. Brazil, Dunga, right? You can't win without that guy. Can't win without the keeper, centre backs, and your holding mid. I've told you that. And Rodri's different class. Nobody's that. He's Sergio Busquets with a bit of physicality. Rodri is a different type of animal. The composure, the ability to pass the ball, and the technical ability to get the ball where it needs to get quickly. I can't say enough about that. Leicester, Conte, right? Frenetic, break things down, but get the ball quickly away. France, when they won, Conte decides where the ball goes, how quickly it gets there, and then we play. A++ ownership, A++ manager, B+ keeper. Don't like short keepers. Anything below 193, you got the jitters, right? But they're CBs. Laporte, Diaz, A+. CDM, A++. Rodri's the best thing going in the Premier League. I think Conte at his best, maybe as a guy to break things down. Lampard's finally got him humming. But I think Rodri for modern day football, he's the guy. He's Sergio Busquets, but better. I think he's better than Sergio Busquets. Now, that's a big statement. Sergio Busquets is one of the most legendary footballers to ever live. And he ran a dynasty. Right? He ran a dynasty. He was the undercurrent. Xavi, all these other guys got the credit, but who got the ball to them quickly, passed through the lines, if people break through. And the great thing about Rodri, just like Sergio Busquets, you never see him sweat. Now, this is where Wan-Bissaka could learn, right? Rodri's always in the right place. Now, that's technical and tactical defense. When you see these great players, Paolo Maldini, although he was a physical specimen, he never ran, all right? He comes off the field clean shorts. Why? Positioning. Chiellini, people say think he's a tough guy, but he's always in the right place. That's positioning, by the way. That's years and years of training. Rodri has been schooled so well. You never see him sliding around, being frenetic, jumping up and down like the boy they love at West Ham, Declan Rice, who's always out of place. So he has to make these athletic recovery tackles. And Wan-Bissaka always making athletic recovery tackles because you're not in good position. Think of Ashley Cole back in the day. When you think of true greatness, Ashley Cole, Makelele, these guys weren't flying around everywhere. Roy Keane, they were always in place. It always looked like, okay, well, it's Roy Keane guy. It's annoying. No. Tactical and just awareness. And there's nothing you can do about that. That has to be schooled. Right? That's a football brain. Rodri's as good as it gets. Now, that's the cake, right? Let me tell you something. It is everything else in football. I've told you, keeper, CBs, holding mid. If you got that as, I'd say that average is A+, you're going to win the league more often than not. You're going to win the league more often than not. But when the icing on the cake is Aguero, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Cancelo, and Jesus, get out of here. Get out of here. Man City, I told you, are going to win the league easily. They're just getting Aguero back. He's a new January signing. They just got the shark back at left back, right? Mendy gives you another dimension on the left, and Cancelo is a different beast. You still got Kyle Walker to come back, whatever he's going through. Fernandinho is your rotation. It's an unbelievable squad. Bernardo Silva is your rotation. He gets into Real Madrid, Bernardo Silva. So, sorry. All right, take one question. Oh, we've got good old Jacques Huersen here. Chelsea fan, he says, I think Chelsea has a good one. The only problem with Man City is their fullbacks. I think maybe fullback. I like their right back situation. I don't like Kyle Walker so much. I do like Cancelo, though. I think he's a handful. I think they've got a problem on the left because Mendy, I tell you what the problem with Mendy is. He doesn't take football seriously. He's a bit of a Paul Pogba figure, right? Natural talent is raw, the pace, power, ability. And those ACL injuries, he's actually lost a bit of that explosive power because he's had 2 ACL injuries now. I don't like the fact that he's a little bit over the top and he doesn't take it seriously. The social media stuff needs to stop. Stop with all of that, right? Is get some self-awareness. I want some production on the field. And I think with Pep Guardiola, it's not a good mesh. It's not a good mesh. Think of the Jordi Alba. Think of Barcelona under Pep. You got to be serious. And for me, and I like personality, but Mendy for me is the antithesis of what I like in top footballers. Right? People say I'm getting old. So I've told the story before. A mentor of mine told me something. Is if you're in a serious industry, make it fun. So look at the successful people in serious industries. By that, I mean tech, accounting, those are serious industries. Elon Musk, Buffett, who's the nerd at Microsoft there, Bill Gates, you got Bomber. Is you make those industries fun, right? You have to infuse and be deliberate about making it fun. You look at Steve Ballmer on the sideline for the Clippers. He's like a child because it's a hard industry. Have a sense of humor, create humor at work, be fun deliberately. If you're in a fun industry, music, sport, etc., take it seriously. So serious business, have fun. Fun business, take it seriously. Think of the people you admire, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Tom Brady, take it seriously. That's who you want to be. Mendy, talent and a little loose, I don't like. He doesn't take it seriously. So that's a problem for Man City. I think Cancelo is a beast at right back, though. I think the right side they sorted. The left side is a problem because Zinchenko's not. He plays left wing for Ukraine. He's not the solution at left back. Because what Pep really wants is Jordi Alba, right? But Jordi Alba's once in a lifetime. Right? That's like having Danny Alves on the left. You're never going to get. You may never see Jordi Alba in our lifetime again. What he wants is Ashley Cole or Jordi Alba. And yeah, I mean, that's like saying I want another Microsoft in our lifetime, or can somebody please start another Tesla? It ain't going to happen. Jordi Alba is once in a millennium. The complete fullback, the personality, a grown-up. Mendy's not a grown-up. That would be my only concern for City. But again, if your centre-backs are sorted, they'll communicate, they'll cover for him. And then you got Rodri. Like, people need to understand that central defensive mid-role, it's what I call makeup. Right? It's makeup. It'll cover all of the spots on your face. It'll cover all the spots on your face. So all of the blemishes at City, you got Rodri there, don't you worry about it. Fernandinho at his peak, don't worry about anything. Our deficiencies, because Mendy really is a left winger. He's like a poor man's Roberto Carlos. He wants to get upfield, cross things, and have fun. I like adults. But I think that's a good point there, Jacques. Jacques says, what do you think about Thiago Silva? I wanted to talk about Chelsea tomorrow. I'm a big Chelsea fan. Jacques, I've got to be honest with you. It worries me that he can't play twice a week. I think that's a big problem. That's letting me know that when you need him in the Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final, what happens in February? As a player, it would be silly for me to say anything other than legendary. I think it's just too soon because I've seen now he can't play twice a week. You've seen what Lampard does. He has to rotate him for Champions League games. That worries me. I believe the season, after 10 games, it lets you know where you're going to finish. But then I always look at after the Christmas period. My problem is he's not going to be able to play in every game in the Christmas period. And that's really what you need your great players for. And I don't see that. But as a player, Jacques, it would be silly of me and of anyone. You'd really, I don't like people that are just contrarians. Like, that's pathetic. It'll be stupid to say I mean, look how smooth he is. He's a Rolls Royce. Everyone thought, Premier League, the pace will be too much for him. But I think there's a brilliant example, right? He's not like Kurt Zuma, who I'm starting to like more and more. And I like Zuma because I like the raw product. But everything's like sliding tackle and, oh my goodness. You look at this 35, 36-year-old. He's never sliding or fret. Why? He's always in the right place. On the headers, he's never jumping and it's like, ooh, he's in the right place. His starting position's incredible. You watch him defending crosses. If you're really into the technical side, you look at John Terry, who was the absolute master of defending crosses, and Vidic. Your body position, right, is just have a look on the weekend when they show you highlights. Look at the body position of all the great centre-backs when they're defending. So number one, the rule with centre-backs on crosses, just for those that are interested in why the great ones always seem to get to the crosses. Number one, never be beyond the near post, right? That is the criminal. As a centre-back, you are defending between the poles. That's what the great managers always used to tell me and my coaches is your centre-backs, rule number one, you are never beyond the front post. Rule number two, and you'll see this with the great centre-backs, never be square. What does square mean is your chest is facing the sideline where the ball's coming from. The great centre-backs are facing the field. If you look at their body position, right, look at the great ones, is when the cross is coming in, they're not square facing the cross that's coming, is actually their body position. They're about at a 45, right? But generally, they're actually facing forward, facing the other goal, because then they can see what's happening, and then they're moving really laterally rather than actually running directly at the ball. And that's why you see the great ones actually are almost running, when the cross comes in, they're running at it and they get it out. So body position is everything when defending. And then, of course, if you're facing the field, you can mark and move laterally and cover if you need to. But cardinal sin number one, always, when people are out of place, look out for it on the weekend. You'll see what I love about the Premier League, there's plenty of crosses, right? If a centre-back is beyond the front post, which you see with a lot of centre-backs, and you'll hear commentators use this term quite often, is he gets sucked under the ball or he gets drawn towards the ball. You see that with younger centre-backs. What you want to do as a centre-back, you're defending between the poles. So, if you got any young players that you coach, remember that is the secret for centre-backs on crosses. Number one, don't get square to the ball, because what you do is you then lose the awareness behind you. You want to be facing the other goal, because you can see, then you can mark. Remember, you can always backpedal. And sometimes you don't always need to jump for the cross, right? I think you saw it brilliantly. I think it was United. Was it Luke Shaw? One of the guys, the Red Bull guys, was coming in, and he just got his body on him. So remember, if you can't get to a cross as a centre-back, get your body on the guy as he jumps. You lean into him, and you make it look like, oh, well, I was jumping. And or elbow in the ribs. You get an elbow in the ribs. That's some of the great defending that you'll see. But rule number one, never beyond the near post. Rule number two, you never get square to the cross. You're always facing so you can see the play. That's what you see with the great centre-backs. And you see that with Thiago Silva. He never looks out of place. A Rolls Royce, he's really absolutely brilliant. As a Chelsea fan, though, I worry that when the business end comes, he can't play twice a week. And let's see how Lampard handles the situation. But I think in Tomori and Josepa Azpilicueta, he's got great backup for that role. All right, folks. Jacques Wilson, to everybody at home, that is it for tonight. Before you leave us, if you like the show, click this one. That's like. If you don't like it, click down. And then this never happened, right? This was just a waste of your time. And this was a break from you fighting with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, which I'm happy to be, by the way. I'm happy to just be empty calories so that your girlfriend or boyfriend can tell you that you still haven't refreshed your driver's license or whatever you haven't done yet. They can stop annoying you, and you're listening to this show. If I can be that, awesome. Let me be the one talking nonsense to you for an hour or so a day. But before we go, Jacques Wilson says, I think there's 3 teams that can win. I guess I'll have to guess. It's Man City. It would have to be Chelsea, because I can see Jacques is and actually I've spoken to Jacques before on social media. He's a Chelsea fan. So Chelsea, Man City. I presume you think Liverpool. I would presume the third one is Liverpool. I think there's 2 teams. I think Chelsea or Man City. I think they're starting to separate themselves. Problem for me, Jacques, with Liverpool is, I've said it to everyone, and Jacques, I'm sure you've been hearing this all the time. People will be tired of me saying this, but Jacques, I think the Premier League works in cycles of 3 years. 2 years, you're at your peak. 3rd year, you fall off a cliff. And you're starting to see it at Liverpool now. And the problem with Liverpool's squad is that I'm afraid once you have massive injuries, right, nobody gets fitter during a season. One thing Chelsea have avoided is major injuries, right? Pulisic's the one concern at Chelsea, but you got Hudson-Odoi, you got Ziyech. All right, he's injured now, but he'll come back. It's not a major one. It's a thigh strain. You got Ziyech. You can rotate him with Mason. You got Mason Mount. You got N'Golo Kante. I mean, as your playmakers, you got Tammy Abraham. You got Giroud up front. Billy Gilmore's just come back. So Chelsea hasn't had injuries. I think Liverpool. It's not the injuries from this season that should be your concern. It's the workload of trying to win for 3 seasons. And Liverpool have had 2 great seasons already. Generally, teams fall off a cliff. Jacques, I'll be honest with you. And I've got a bet with somebody on the show. I don't think Liverpool will be top 4 this season. I just don't. I think Jurgen Klopp, guys like Jurgen Klopp, guys like Pep Guardiola, guys like Jose, they wear people down. They wear people down. And Jurgen right now is in the 3rd year. It's the most difficult year to coach. Jacques, go and look at all the great seasons. I want you after this to go and look at all the Premier League seasons. What generally happens, even with the great teams, they win 2 seasons, fall off a cliff. Win 2 seasons, fall off a cliff. Go and look at it. United's early teams, outside of the 3-peat teams, right? Those were special. The 99 team, and then, of course, the 2006 to 2009 team, where they won 3 league titles in a row. But nobody else has done that. So go and look at all the great teams. Mourinho's dynasty, what happened? 2 fell off a cliff in the 3rd season. Mourinho had to go. Pep Guardiola, all the money in the world, all the squad depth in the world. What happened? 2 seasons. And then the 3rd season, what happened? They fell off a cliff. So what happens is you wear players down. And I think Liverpool, the problem is with the high voltage football that they play, heavy metal, as he calls it, is they're worn down. Right? There's a bit of fatigue. And he hasn't really refreshed. With a guy like Jurgen Klopp, it's like everybody thinks they're going to stay with, when you meet somebody and they're all over you in a relationship. Everybody thinks clingy and needy and, oh my gosh, he or she's always hugging me. That gets pretty old after 6 months. Jurgen Klopp is that type of guy. He's always on you. It's like having a clingy girlfriend, clingy boyfriend, right? That's cute for the first 6 months. But I don't care who you are. That'll wear on you. And Liverpool, have to be honest, is that they haven't refreshed. And trust me, I know sportsmen. They get tired of the same voice, especially modern-day sportsmen. So I think Liverpool have had their 2-year period 3 seasons ago. I think they on 97 points. That was a championship-type season. I mean, if City don't go and get 100 points, they win the league. That's really a league-winning season. Last year, they won the league. I think it's over this season, and I think it'll be because of the injuries, if I'm honest with you, Jacques. So for me, I see Chelsea and City, and I'm shocked at Chelsea, by the way. But when you look at it closer and closer, I think, you got Tomori, by the way, to come in, who I love. You got Christensen to back up Thiago Silva. Liverpool are playing youngsters once their centre-backs are out, and their best centre-backs out. And let me tell you Liverpool's greatest concern for me. The goalkeeping situation. And I feel like I'm the only one who's saying it. I'm not hearing any other media saying it. Their goalkeeper's injury prone. And the thing is, he's a big man as well. He's not one of these small guys. Is when big people get injured, by the way, it's not like small guys. Small guys can recover. Big people get injured, soft tissue, and he's a massive man, by the way. You look at that, that is like a basketball player or a tight end in football, American football, NFL. He's injury prone. That's a big problem because the backup is, okay, I've seen the new kid, Keller, I think his name is, but then you got to go to Adrian. Eek. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't think Liverpool are making top 4. Call me crazy. We'll see how it goes. Jacques, love that. He says Chelsea have a deeper squad than Liverpool. It's not deniable. And they're not injury prone. Folks, I hate calling people injury prone, but Jordan Henderson, injury prone. Fabinho loves an injury. VVD's out for the whole season. Their keeper loves an injury. You can't win without a settled back 4. Right? Robertson, he's shown you, likes an injury. Trent Alexander-Arnold, injury, a really big one as well. We don't know how that's going to go. Right? Keita he's a sick note, right? That was a mistake. You spent a lot of money on him, and that was a mistake. If you're Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold can't stay fit the whole season, and when Trent gets injured, it's a calamity injury. Henderson, he's had 2 injuries this season already. Right? The only one who's stable is Gini Wijnaldum. Sadio Mane, Gini Wijnaldum, and Salah. Those are the only 3 that are stable. And Bobby Firmino is just a horse, right? He's an awesome player. But you can't win with just icing. A lot of these guys are just icing. Your centre backs and Henderson, injury prone again, another one. So your whole back, really your back 8, your back 6, if you want to call it that, on rotation. It's not going to work. You got to settle at some stage. I'm sorry for Liverpool. And with Jacques saying, I'm 192 and I have the same back problem since I was 17. See, the thing is, so Jacques, to my point is, hey, when big gets injured, when big people get injured, they don't recover the same. It's why in the NBA, if you watch it, Kevin Durant, I know people say other guys have recovered from the Achilles thing. You got to hold up. He's 7'2", I think. Jacques says he's 192. He's got the same back problem then. See, that happens to tall people, by the way. Jacques, I believe often it's to do with the growth spurt, if I remember reading correctly in university. I hope my mom's watching this because I did do some work, Mom. But there we go, Jacques 192. When Big gets injured, folks, that is a long-term problem. And when Big is injury prone, so generally the science I remember reading is big guys, you got to get their body right early on. Right, early while they're growing, while the back is stretching, while all the limbs stretch, especially at 192. Jacques will understand this better than anybody. Generally, your limbs and back are growing faster than the other parts of your body. So what you really got to do with tall guys, if I read correctly, and Jacques can correct whether now or later, is with core guy, get the core right early, because the rest of the body, the limbs and the back and the spine and everything is growing disproportionately. You'll often hear lumbar problems with tall people. And by the way, you understand lumbar problems, once your spine and core aren't solid and your limbs are everywhere, and like Allison's a big guy, he may have just got this body late, is if your core's not stable, everything else is injured. Because if you're not stable in the core, and I know this purely from running, is you're always compensating with other body parts. With big people, no matter what the sport, the science is very clear. LeBron James, the best example. If you're big, get the body right early. And I mean like 16. The core's got to be tight 16. And if you don't, by the time you try and catch up, right, everything else has already grown so much, for lack of a better term, out of place. And I'm not a doctor. I just remember reading this, that with guys like Allison, I presume Allison early on maybe didn't get the body right. The injury started early. I don't know what he was doing at Roma and before that. But when Big gets injured, folks, there we go. Jacques Husson. I'm 192 and I have the same back problem since 17. Liverpool fans, you got to swallow a bitter pill. Listen, he's a great keeper. I'm not going to take that away. Just because you hate Liverpool, hold your hand up. He is, and I use the word great reservedly, but he's a great keeper. He's the right. Even he's 191, so I'd like a little bit taller, but he's consistent. He can play the ball from the back. He's a tremendous keeper. Great might be going a bit far. He's tremendous. He's very, very good. But, and maybe what stops him being great, I think I've gone too far with great. The greatest ability is availability. And now he's starting to show he's injury prone. Peter Cech never got injured. Peter Schmeichel, the whole season, right? Edison at Man City, what's his thing? Play the whole season. I need you available. Availability is the greatest ability. Allison, problems. All right, Jacques, love those comments to all of you at home. Remember, MKT Inspires on social media. Feel free to hit me up. Slide in the DMs, as they say. Feel free to slide in the DMs. Hey, be a friend, tell a friend. Share this link. Let people know that we are building the greatest sports content on the continent, and we're looking to go worldwide. So to everybody who joined us tonight, before you go, click like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere tonight with anybody. You chose to be with us. It has been an honor. My name is MKT. This is Gareth Cliff, and that's actually him, by the way. He's physically distancing from me right now. He's way back. He's about 40 meters back. He's in the nosebleed, if you understand football terminology. And from Cliff Central Sport, the MKT Show, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight, we are the hell out of here.